Gillum and Ron DeSantis is likely also the one in the U.S. Senate race between incumbent Democrat Bill Nelson and Republican Rick Scott, Florida's outgoing governor. But Rick Scott claims the Democrats are just trying to steal the election.
Every Floridian should be concerned there may be a rampant fraud happening in Palm Beach and Broward counties. I will not sit idly by while unethical liberals try to steal this election from the great people of Florida.
Rick Scott and the National Republican Senatorial Committee have filed lawsuits in Palm Beach and Broward counties. Up next, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is back at home today after spending yesterday in the hospital with 3 fractured ribs. She has been discharged. She suffered the breaks after falling in her office, which led to late night's Jimmy Kimmel to propose new safety measures.
For obvious reasons, Ruth Bader Ginsburg is someone we need to protect at any cost. We're sending this to Washington to protect Justice Ginsburg from injuries, from criminals, from bears. This thing actually is grizzly bear proof. Even if a strong gust of wind were to blow Justice Ginsburg into a river, she would be able to float and move like a hamster.
Ginsburg, who is 85, is part of the liberal minority on the Supreme Court, hence the bubble. And finally, there is this, and former First Lady Michelle Obama comes out swinging in her new memoir, Becoming, where she addresses the whole birther controversy stirred up by Donald Trump. The former First Lady writes it was dangerous, deliberately meant to stir up the wingnuts and kooks. What if someone with an unstable mind loaded a gun and drove to Washington? What if that person went looking for our girls? Donald Trump, with his loud and reckless innuendos, was putting my family's safety at risk, and for this, I would never forgive him. The former First Lady's book, Becoming, will be released on Tuesday. Meanwhile, the fallout continues after Wednesday's combative news conference between President Trump and members of the media. With all the talk about President Trump's feud with CNN's Jim Acosta, you may have missed his comments in regards to April Ryan. She has been a part of the press during several presidential administrations. She's a correspondent for American Urban Radio Networks and is also a political analyst on CNN.
Sit down, please. Sit down. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I didn't call you. I'll give you voter suppression. Excuse me, I'm not responding to you. I'm talking to this gentleman. Will you please sit down? So, it's such a hostile media. It's so sad. You asked me about... No, you rudely interrupted him. You rudely interrupted him.
But one of April Ryan, she is just one of an increasing number of journalists and TV anchors who are routinely being threatened because of their questions, maybe their positions. We don't know. Listen here again.
You now have security, and you say the White House should pay for it. Yeah, because they stirred it up. If they get Secret Service protection on my taxpayer dollars, and I'm getting death threats left and right because of the stir from the top, and I'm going to get in trouble for that, but so be it.
April Ryan's afraid, saying she needs security. CNN's chief media correspondent, Brian Stelter, joins me now. Brian, when I was listening to Trump this morning, he said he's not sure when Acosta would be back. He's talking about pulling other credentials. He said that people should not disrespect the White House. And then he ends up calling her a loser. April Ryan, I couldn't believe it. I was thinking, did he just say that? What's going on here?
Yeah, I think he's threatening to revoke credentials from other reporters. Acosta here at CNN has been on the bench for 2 days because his press pass was taken away. He's still doing reporting, of course, but he's not allowed inside the White House grounds. And now Trump is saying he might take away credentials from other reporters as well. That's when he brought up April Ryan, totally out of the blue. So I think that Ryan has reason to be concerned that maybe she's going to be one of the next targets of this attempt to take away credentials. By the way, this has never happened before. It's unprecedented that the White House is trying to take away reporters' credentials just for doing their jobs. But as the president indicated, Acosta might only be the first. There might be more to come as the White House tries to create this media war that they always lean into, they always encourage. I think it's important what you said, though, about April Ryan and other reporters on this beat, particularly women and people of color who are the targets of hate mail and harassment and other threats. This is a problem across the media industry, and right now it's getting worse.
Yeah, I think she was on the list of Caesar Seance, April Ryan was, and saying, now I'm afraid in regards to the pipe bomb. She wants security, as we heard her talking on The View. Also, Tucker Carlson of Fox News, as you know, his show is opinion-based. He's been threatened, he says, and people are lining up outside of his home. What have you heard in regards to that?
Yeah, this was really disturbing on Wednesday night. Protesters, about 20 of them, went to Carlson's home in Washington, D.C., knocked on the door, banged on the door, screamed and shouted harassment at him. Now, Tucker wasn't home. Only his wife was home. She was worried these people were trying to break into her house, so she ran into the pantry and called 911. Now, the D.C. police are conducting an investigation. They say laws were broken in this case. There was vandalism outside the home, so there could be arrests in the future. Look, America has a fever. This is a problem. It's bigger than left or right. It's bigger than Fox News or CNN or HLN. It's a fever. The temperature needs to come down all around, whether it's against Tucker Carlson or against Jim Acosta.
Yeah, well said. It's about hate and discourse and shouldn't be. Brian, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Back to that gunman as we learn more about mental health and the California bar massacre. Were they tied together? It's bringing up big questions about mental health care for veterans.
Our new hot, fresh breakfast will get you the readiest. Holiday Inn Express, be the readiest.
This holiday, give the gift of Peloton.
Prestige creams, not the highlights. Shatters the hype, big price, big deal. Olay Regenerist hydrates skin better than creams costing over $100, $200, and even $400. For skin, fact check this ad in Good Housekeeping. Olay Regenerist. Now try Olay Hydrating Eye. Hydrates better than the #1 prestige eye cream.
1, 2, 1, 2. Wherever you are this season, send some holiday cheer with a beautiful holiday card from Vistaprint. Now in more shapes, styles, and finishes than ever before. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Plus, they're all 50% off. Just enter promo code HOLIDAY at Vistaprint.com.
Remember when Christmas was magical? When the mailman delivered to the North Pole? And we all had a front row shoulder-top seat at the parade. Let's get back there. Celebrate the arrival of Santa at Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's Saturday at 5 p.m. with the unveiling of Santa's Wonderland, with the arcades, RC trucks, crafts, even a picture with Santa. And it's all free. Plus, get extras for the family with a personalized Christmas card package. Now only $5.
Join the thousands of Texas drivers who have their auto insurance through AAA.
I didn't know how easy it was to just switch auto insurance. The amount of money I was saving was staggering.
After comparing a few other rates, it was clear that AAA was our best place to be.
As a AAA Texas member, you could save an average of $447 a year. Compare that to Geico, State Farm, or Allstate. You could save even more with AAA discounts.
We have the multi-car discount, the multi-policy discount.
We save quite a bit of money by keeping everything we can with AAA. Best of all, get the service we're famous for and peace of mind.
Our reaction was, wow. I could not believe how much money I was saving when I switched over to AAA.
I definitely feel I can rely on AAA, no matter what the circumstances.
At AAA Texas, my job is to help you get more AAA out of your AAA card. And that starts with great savings on auto insurance.
Call 888-293-2410. AAA Texas. So easy, so smart, so switch.
Brought to you by InventHelp. Call 1-800-900-0202.
Do you have an idea for an invention or new product? Do you think
We are learning more information about the gunman who carried out the deadly attack at the Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks, California. Police say the 28-year-old veteran had been acting irate and irrational before the shooting, leading him, due to his mom, to get evaluated by a mental health specialist.
He is a veteran. He was in the United States Marine Corps. That was part of the discussion when the deputies went out to the call with the crisis team that felt he might be suffering from PTSD, basing that the fact he was a veteran and had been in the Corps.
Ultimately, the police's mental health specialist decided not to detain Ian Long. We have no confirmation he was ever diagnosed with PTSD. However, mental illness, especially PTSD, does remain a huge issue facing our veterans. Listen to one veteran describe how he struggled to acknowledge his own battle with the disorder.
After each deployment, they sit you down in those little PTSD briefs, and of course, just like most Marines, I rolled my eyes and I'm like, right, PTSD, not me, and just kind of, I had a lot of reasons why I didn't think it would ever affect me. Looking back, 2020, it was affecting me already. I felt like a stranger in my own home, let alone everywhere else.
I want to welcome in Melissa Bryant. She's Chief Policy Officer with Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America. Melissa, good to see you. I do want to point out that there is no connection with PTSD and the man who opened fire inside of that bar, but he did serve with the Marine Corps. And do people just jump to that thinking, oh, it must be PTSD? And do people still have a hard time understanding really what that is?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, the president this morning made comments saying that I heard that he had PTSD, and then unfortunately there's this broken veteran narrative that people immediately jump to. And while many veterans like myself suffered from PTSD, many of us also receive mental health care. And that's really the important thing, is that we're not a workplace threat for others. We're not all broken. Yes, we've seen some horrible things, and when I saw the Thousand Oaks shooter, when I saw the incident taking place and the breaking news, the first thing I thought was, it sounds like a significant action or a SIG act that I would have seen in Iraq, of that many who were killed in action. So first and foremost, that's just a horrific thought and flashback to a deployment. But secondly, that PTSD is not necessarily paint someone as having an increased propensity to commit murder. Many of us, absolutely. For IAVA members, for those of us who have 57% of us have spoken about them having a service-connected mental health injury, but 73% of our members who talk about having a mental health injury have sought care. And it's important also to note that when a loved one speaks to you about seeking care, 80% of our IAVA members have then sought care after a loved one has pointed out to them that they may need help. And so it's important to do those buddy checks, and it's important to ensure that we're reaching out to those who may be in crisis.
Yeah, we were just listening to, before I introduced you, to a man who served and said, I was in denial, rolling my eyes, saying, oh, I don't have PTSD, and then he realized that he did because of some of the symptoms. But the suicide rate with those who have served, I mean, it is catastrophic, the number of people that you see taking their own lives. Is that usually connected to the trauma that they have seen and not even knowing maybe they have PTSD?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we are still suffering from an epidemic with suicide within the veteran community. We lose nearly 20 of our brothers and sisters a day to suicide. It's something that Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America has called special attention to. Just in October, we had an activation in Washington, D.C. on the Mall. We planted 5,520 flags to represent those 20 a day who had died by suicide just in 2018 alone. This is something that is a top priority for the VA. This is something that needs to be a top priority for the Department of Defense. We need to ensure that we're reaching out to all of those who may be in crisis and ensuring that we're bringing them into the fold and getting them the care that they need. But I must stress the point that we are not all broken, and a diagnosis of PTSD, again, it does not increase the likelihood of someone to commit a violent crime against someone else.
And Melissa, just a couple seconds left here. 28-year-old Ian Long, the man who walked into that bar. We don't know his state of mind prior to serving or after, but it's difficult for someone to get help if they don't want it, if they don't see that they need it.
Unfortunately, there is a stigma, there are barriers to care, but we're getting much better at it. I would implore anyone to reach out for help. There's a Veterans Crisis Line that you can dial if you feel that you're actively having suicidal ideation. But in general, if you're just struggling, reach out. And if you know someone who may be struggling, again, 80% of our members have told us that when someone brought to their attention that you may be in crisis, then they went and sought the care that they need. That's the important thing. But please, please, do not paint us with this broad brush of being broken veterans. We are not. We are strong. We are a very hardworking community. We're usually pillars of our community who do great things even after we take off the uniform, because that call to service is ingrained. That's who veterans are. We are not broken.
Very true, Melissa Bryan. Thank you, and thank you for your service. We do want to put this number on your screen, Melissa. You're helping so many. If you or someone you know out there needs help, you can call this number. That's 1-800-273-TALK. We'll be right back.
Glow to the max. Makeup? Now optional. New Aveeno Max Glow Infusion Drops with kiwi to lock moisture and soy to even skin tone. Unleash dewy glowing skin from within. New Aveeno Max Glow. If you use some of these moves way too often, then you might have a common condition called dry mouth, which can be brought on by many things, like medication and medical conditions. Biotene provides immediate, long-lasting relief from dry mouth symptoms. It is clinically proven to soothe and moisturize the dry mouth. Plus, it freshens breath. Biotene, immediate and long-lasting dry mouth symptom relief.
Presenting the internet!
Oh, what's he doing?
Come on, let's check it out!
He's pretty good at this. Like a game. Woohoo! Got it.
Which car should we get?
All of them.
Oh, yeah, that one! This one looks nice!
I like this game.
Delivery, where?
It's here. What?
Buy your next car from Carvana before Ralph breaks the internet. And go see the movie in theaters November 21st.
This is my doctor. This is my grocer. These are my back roads. Those are my heroes. That was my high school. And this is my privilege.
Since 2005, Dish and our partners have helped bring emergency communications access to disaster areas across the country, so families, friends, and first responders can organize, mobilize, and connect.
Maybe a lot of people have forgotten the value of a hard day's work, but we see it every day.
Enjoyed for 125 years by those who work hard. Maxwell House, good to the last drop.
This is Dave, his dog Cooper, and I'm Randy. We sell the most comfortable socks in the history of feet. Why? Socks are the most requested item at homeless shelters. So for every pair we sell, we donate a pair. To donate a lot of socks, you have to sell a lot of socks. How? Fix everything. Ditch the annoying scene, add our support. The best cotton so their socks so comfortable we've been able to sell and donate over 5 million pairs. Get 20% off at bombas.com.
Why did we create Spectrum Mobile? Well, because we think you deserve a network that was built for you. So for the Explorers, we've got America's largest plus. That's pretty. For jugglers, free talk and free text. And for just the savings. For the way you use your phones now and the way you'll use them tomorrow. Introducing Spectrum Mobile. The best network, the best devices, the best value.
Look at this. Look at me. I'm Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer. Seriously hurt by an 18-wheeler? I hammer insurance company for you. An 18-wheeler ran a red light. My client fractured his arm and leg. I got him $196,000 in his pocket. Call me now. I'm Jim Adler, the cop.
Davidians and the government gripped the nation for 50.
The raid was compromised beforehand. There wasn't an agency in law prepared for what we were fixing to go up against.
Could the Waco tragedy have been averted?
You want to keep playing the game? Somebody's going to get hurt.
How it really happened with Hill Harper.
at 8 on HLA.
Today, on the story, the gunman who killed 12 people inside of a California bar made a chilling Facebook post around the time of the attack. Police say Ian Long wrote, "I hope people call me insane." Investigators are still going through his home and his car, trying to find out why, what motivated this horrific attack. President Trump and First Lady Melania are en route to Paris right now to mark the 100-year anniversary of the end of World War I. And Michelle Obama is sharing intimate details of her life in her upcoming book, Becoming Michelle Obama. The former First Lady reveals she suffered a miscarriage 20 years ago. She says she felt like she failed because she didn't notice how common they were. She also reveals her daughters were conceived via IVF. Becoming is due for release next Tuesday. You are watching On the Story on this Friday. Great to see you. I'm Susan Hendricks. We start with this.
Okay, we're just gonna go. It's everywhere.
Yeah. No, we'll be okay. Just pray. Please help us, Lord.
Everything else is to be fun. Everything's to be fun.
Wow, stuck in their car trying to get out. Firefighters there in California are fighting 3 explosive fires that have turned deadly this hour as thousands of families try to get out of their homes. Here is what we know this hour. Nearly 24 million people are under a red flag warning. A state of emergency is in effect. Parts of the city of Malibu under mandatory evacuation orders. Officials say the fire there is heading straight for the Pacific Ocean in Northern California. Nearly 40,000 people have been told to get out from one community. Firefighters are facing an uphill battle against the high winds, dry timber that is fueling these fast-moving fires. Officials now say there are fatalities, but they are working to determine how many people have died. And the 3 fires combined have burned an area the size of Manhattan times 3. To give you just a sense of what firefighters are up against right now, one of those fires in Southern California doubled in size in less than 2 hours this morning. I do want to bring in Scott McLean now. He's in Los Angeles, a suburb of there. Scott, I've been watching you throughout the morning. What are you seeing now as the winds, it appears, have kicked up?
That's right, Susan. Still very windy here. The winds obviously continue to fan the flames, and it'll be like that for probably until tomorrow morning. At least that's what's forecast. It will die down, thankfully, tomorrow before kicking up again on Sunday. There is some good news that despite the wind, this fire is no longer expanding at the terrifying rate that it was earlier. As you mentioned, doubling, during that actually 90-minute period where this fire doubled, well, it actually was expanding at a rate of an entire football field every 2 seconds. Perhaps why? Well, California, much of it has gotten less than 5% of the precipitation it usually gets in the last month. Sometimes it's not the fire that's the problem, it's the embers that are in the air that affected houses like this, seemingly chosen at random in this neighborhood, burnt right down to the ground, whereas you look over here and the houses are completely untouched. This so obviously was not from the flames, it was just those traveling embers really being sent into the air by those strong winds. You can also see the hillside there is scarred and torched. It's not burning there, but in other hills around this area, it is still smoldering. In some places, it is still very much burning. There are hundreds of firefighters working to get a grip on this, Susan, and they say that there are even more resources on the way.
Because you know how fast the fire can move or shift, and we now hear there have been fatalities. Scott, thank you so much for that report as the winds pick up, but you say die down again tomorrow. We head to Northern California where 70,000 acres have been torched. The fire there just 5% contained. Thousands are having to suddenly get out of this, an inferno. Driving through burning streets, you can see how dangerous it was for them. In this video, some people were even forced to abandon their cars and just run for it. Now let's go to Nick Valencia. He is in Paradise, California. Make no mistake, it is not evening there. It is the morning hours. You can't tell by how ominous it looks, Nick. What have you seen?
Susan, it is so terrifying and it's so eerie, and it seems as though this smoke has really just settled in and is just hovering over us. As the morning has progressed, we thought this smoke might have cleared, but it's just sort of stuck over us right now, making it a little bit more difficult to breathe as the morning hours progress. This is Paradise, California. 24 hours ago, it was almost completely engulfed in flames. And we should point out, this is the main street that goes through Paradise, California, and it looks like what you're seeing behind me here. This used to be a retail store, a pawn shop, and you can see it's still on fire here. Scott McLean was talking about just how fast that fire California, the same California, near San Francisco by the time yesterday finished. At its peak, at its height, at every 3 seconds, a football field. We just went up this road here, up the canyon to follow this mountain path, and it must have been just an absolute panic, Susan, because there was cars just littered, left behind. The scene there, it just seemed apocalyptic. I'd never seen anything like it covering natural disasters. And we were talking to some local firefighters here. They said it is very safe scene. We caught up with them just as they were putting out a small structure that is still on fire. This fire, though, has moved north. It's gone up the canyon, and the wind is the reason why this was fueled and why it moved so fast. Today, the wind has died down just a little bit. That's some good news for these firefighters who are still working. Much of this area, I should say all of it, has been evacuated. The only people here left behind are the police officers and firefighters that are working to keep the integrity of the structures that are remaining. But still, this is going to be an issue throughout the weekend. We have a handful of injuries reported. So far, officially, no deaths have been reported from this fire that we know of, though CAL FIRE is saying that the multiple fires that are burning throughout California, there are some deaths attributed to them. We just don't know which fire caused those. Those firefighters that we caught up with, they're no doubt going to be going door to door to figure out if anyone was left behind and assessing this damage that has just devastated this small town in Northern California.
It is very telling that firefighters, that isn't the worst that they have seen. And you're saying it's apocalyptic and they are used to fighting these fires, but still risking their lives. Nick, thank you. And as we have mentioned, so many people were just caught off guard by how fast the fire was moving. They were driving away as the streets and homes around them were burning. One dad tried to stay calm for his daughter as they tried to get out. Listen here.
We're gonna get out of here. And we'll come back when it's more Princess Poppy, okay? I'm gonna stay away from it, okay? Yeah. Yeah. Look, we're past it. We're out of it, okay? Yay! We did it together.
Is that not the cutest? That was Joe Allen. He evacuated from the city of Paradise in Northern California with his family. His wife Whitney joins me on the phone now. Whitney, when you hear that, I mean, your husband to me sounds like he deserves an award. Such a stressful situation. And saying, oh, Princess Poppy, we're going to be fine. We'll get out of this together. When you see that, how do you feel?
I have no words, to be honest with you. I was actually in the car in front of him with our younger 8-month-old Jordan, our other little girl. And, being in front of them, just being so afraid of, am I going to make it through? Are they not? Are we going to come together? And just hearing that she was so calm and he kept her so calm through the whole thing was just amazing.
It really was. At the end, bringing up the princess, saying, yay, we did it together. Is this the worst you've ever seen? We're seeing the visuals here. The video that was recorded by your husband. It's just unbelievable you made it out. Did you even know where you were driving at the time?
No, we didn't. There's 2 lanes. One goes into Skyway, and then one, goes down to Chico. Or one goes into Paradise, and one goes down to Chico. And we thought we were just going down Skyway the right way to Chico. Yeah, we were driving down the other way to Chico, so we had no idea where we were going. We couldn't see. We were following headlights. We had no idea if there was light at the other end of the tunnel. It was very, very scary.
How was your younger daughter, your 8-month-old, in the car? Because she's so young, was she aware of what was going on?
She actually slept the whole time, thank goodness.
Right.
So, but no, she was fine. She was sleeping.
And where are all of you now? And do you know what the status of your house is?
So we're down in Chico, not far away. There's some evacuation zones in Chico, but we're in a safer zone for now. If it happens to get worse, we'll be able to head out to town farther to other relatives. We heard that our neighbor's house is on fire, so we're, prepared for the worst and hoping for the best.
When you first heard your husband on that video, what'd you say to him?
Thank you so much for keeping her calm, and, I love you. There's not a lot to say at that point. It's just, I'm just so happy we all made that.
So happy that you're all safe. Were you able to celebrate it all?
We did. We had a cake for her last night at the end of the day.
Oh my gosh, how cute. And does she seem okay in terms of what she saw and what she experienced?
Yeah, she seems, she's 3, so she seems a little still, she doesn't quite get what's going on, but she definitely understood that there's fire.
When she's older, she's going to see that video and say, Dad, how did you keep it under control with Princess Poppy and all? Whitney, thank you so much. We're happy that you and your family are safe, and a happy birthday to your young girl.
Woo! Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Just ahead now, also out of California, a man who survived a rampage in California recorded it on his cell phone. The gunshots, the panic, all caught on video inside of that bar.
On the Story is brought to you by the 2019 Volvo XC range, designed for you.
To be there for the good and not so good. For the mundane, the awe-inspiring, the heart-racing, the heartbreaking. That's what life is all about. Showing up. Unless migraine steals your chance to say, I am here. That's why we created Aimovig, a preventive treatment for migraine in adults. One dose, once a month. Aimovig is proven to reduce the number of monthly migraine days. For some, that number can be cut in half or more. The most common side effects are pain, redness or swelling at the injection site, and constipation. These are your days. What will each one bring? Doesn't matter. As long as you can say, I am here. Talk to your doctor about preventing migraine with Aimovig and be there more.
This is big. T-Mobile is offering the awesome iPhone XR with an unlimited plan for just $40 a month.
Unlimited with the new iPhone XR?
Yeah, iPhone XR included.
For $40? That is big.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Wherever you are this season, send some holiday cheer with a beautiful holiday card from Vistaprint. Now in more shapes, styles, and finishes than ever before. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Plus, they're all 50% off. Just enter promo code HOLIDAY at Vistaprint.com.
It was here. I couldn't catch my breath.
It was the last song of the night. Felt like my heart was skipping beats.
They said I had AFib.
What's AFib?
I knew that meant I was at a greater risk of stroke.
I needed answers.
My doctor and I chose Xarelto.
To help keep me protected from a stroke.
Once daily Xarelto, a latest generation blood thinner, significantly lowers the risk of stroke in people with AFib, not caused by a heart valve problem. Warfarin interferes with at least 6 of your body's natural blood clotting factors. Xarelto is selective, targeting just one critical factor. For AFib patients well managed on warfarin, there is limited information on how Xarelto compares in reducing the risk of stroke. Don't stop taking Xarelto without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. Xarelto can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. It may increase your risk of bleeding if you take certain medicines. not take Xarelto if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. Before starting, tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures and any kidney or liver problems.
Learn all you can
to help protect yourself from a stroke.
Talk to your doctor about Xarelto. Could the Waco tragedy have been averted?
Once you play the game, somebody's gonna get hurt.
How it really happened with Hill Harbor. Sunday night at 8 on HLN.
Haunting new video of the massacre inside that Borderline Bar and Grill in Thousand Oaks, California. We have to warn you, the cell phone video you're about to see, it's difficult to watch. It was posted online by a survivor who wrote, "I looked him in the eyes while he killed my friends." You hear the gunfire, then the panic. Police say Ian Long killed 12 people before taking his own life. He's seen here. According to his friends, he used to go to that club. He liked it a lot. He was in the Marines for almost 5 years, living with his mom. A neighbor says the shooter's mom, though, lived in fear about what her son may do. We are learning more now about the people who were killed on Wednesday night. They were honored at a candlelight vigil in Thousand Oaks. Incredibly, one of the people who was killed, Tel Orfanos is his name, he survived the shooting massacre in Las Vegas. Listen to this powerful statement from his mom, who wants action.
My son was in Las Vegas with a lot of his friends and he came home. He didn't come home last night, and I don't want prayers. I don't want thoughts. I want gun control, and I hope to God nobody else sends me any more prayers. I want gun control. No.
We expect to get the names of the other victims later today, but take a look here. These are just some of the innocent lives lost. They have been identified by police and their family members. Dan Manrique was a Marine Corps veteran. He recently got a job with a nonprofit, helping fellow veterans settle back into civilian life. He was 33 years old. And that hero officer, Sergeant Ron Heelis, had been with the Ventura County Sheriff's Office for 29 years, set to retire this year. He rushed into the club and was shot multiple times.
Ron decided to take the lead. He took the lead in with the secondary CHP officer, got some rounds off. We're not sure if they went to the suspect, if that was what killed him, or if the suspect killed himself, but they were able to engage in some gunfire. And it was his last heroic act in doing what he needed to do and standing the ground and being brave, and it was amazing.
And Cody Kaufman recently turned 22 and was planning to join the military. We heard from his dad in the desperate hours before he knew his son was killed inside of that bar. A friend he was with during the shooting says Cody saved her life.
Honestly, he's such a hero. He stood up and he said to us that I have so much love for him, and he's one of the reasons that I'm here right now. He'll always be my hero, and now he's my angel, my guardian angel. I'm gonna live my life for the both of us.
Also on that list, 23-year-old Justin Meek. He was a bouncer at Borderline. When he wasn't working there, he was helping special needs children. He planned to join the Coast Guard, and he also loved to cook. Elena Housley, also killed. She was a freshman at Pepperdine University. She was the niece of former Fox News reporter Adam Housley and his wife, who's an actress, Tamara Mowry. Elena was just 18. Also, Noelle Sparks was a student at Moore Park College. She was active in her church, was a member of the choir, just 21 years old. Marky Mesa Jr., he worked as a busboy and food runner at the club. His mom says Wednesday was his first night working at the door as a bouncer. He texted her just before the shooting saying how excited he was to be working at the door. He was a loving brother to his two sisters. He would have been 21 years old on November 19th. Just senseless, so many innocent lives lost. Our Christy Paul spoke to a survivor, Tim Dominique Morning. He knew the shooter and says that may be why he was spared. Take a look.
Shot the bouncer 10 feet away from us, and he just went down. And I'm not sure if he saw my son or not, because we were right in front of his vision as we walk in the door. We were right there. And I've been thinking that when I played pool with him before, you know, I was kind of nice to him, and I was just wondering if he had some empathy or compassion at that time and didn't shoot us, because he had to see us.
So what you're saying that you knew that you played pool with Ian, with the shooter? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I did. I did. Yes, not that night, obviously, but a month before, a couple of times, and seemed like a normal guy. He didn't talk much, but he was friendly, and I was nice to him and kind to him, and we, you know, he actually laughed a few times. He didn't talk much about anything, really, just pool.
So you didn't know much about him?
Some of the girls there, he was... No, I didn't know anything about him, actually. He didn't say he was a former Marine or anything of that nature. And we just played pool, had a good time. And next time I saw him, he was killing people. I haven't slept, and since then, can't sleep. It's, you know, rolling around in my head as if I could have done something more than just what I did, which was just get out and live.
That has to be the strangest
It's tough
feeling.
to think about.
It's got to be the strangest feeling to know that you played pool with this guy.
It's really strange. It really is. It's like he was just normal. I didn't obviously know him well whatsoever, but he didn't seem like a crazy person who would do this when I talked to him and played pool with him, you know, and laughed and stuff like that, and the bad shots we were making, and just, it's just surreal. It doesn't seem real, but it is, and it's just devastating.
Tim was able to escape with his son, and as you heard him say, he's wondering if he was spared because he met Ian before playing pool. He told Christy Paul this is not what America is. Just ahead, the daycare workers who allegedly pitted toddlers against each other in what looks like a fight club are facing charges now. And police just released new interrogation video.
Glow to the max. Makeup? Now optional. New Aveeno Max Glow Infusion Drops with kiwi to lock moisture and soy to even skin tone. Unleash dewy glowing skin from within. New Aveeno Max Glow.
What you don't see can hurt you. If you just launder your credit, you can miss some identity theft threats. LifeLock now includes Norton to help protect you from even more threats. Join now at LifeLock.com. What makes our Balsam Hill Christmas so extraordinary? Is the stunning realism, selection, and simplicity of our artificial Christmas trees? Is it our exclusive true needle foliage modeled after real evergreen branches? Or maybe it's that Balsam Hill has everything you need to make the season bright, in clear, color, or both. There's no place like home for the holidays, and no easier way to make yours more beautiful. Visit balsamhill.com and inspire your own extraordinary moments.
Ever notice how hard it is to clean impossible kitchen and bathroom messes with wipes and spray cleaners? Try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser. Just add water, squeeze, and erase. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser works great on burnt-on food in the kitchen. It's perfect for cleaning stubborn bathroom soap scum, even on glass. leaves 4 times more permanent marker per swipe. Try Mr. Clean Magic Eraser for your impossible kitchen and bathroom messes.
Prenderò 10 biscotti e 12 bomboloni. I just got my Ancestry DNA results. 74% Italian. And I found out that I'm from the big toe of that sexy Italian boot.
Calabria.
It even shows the migration path from South Italia all the way to Exotico, New Jersey. So this holiday season, it's Ancestry DNA per tutti! Order your kit now at Ancestry.com.
The best part about being a Bathfitter installer is the reveal. Homeowners greet us in the morning and love that we're going to install a beautiful new tub right over their old one without tearing the bathroom apart. But they're never quite prepared for what they get come the end of the day. We call it the wow moment. When they see their new bathtub that's high quality and more beautiful than they could have imagined, I can't help but smile. Since it's Bathfitter, it's built to last a lifetime. We guarantee it.
Book your free in-home consultation today. Call or visit bathfitter.com.
Hi, I'm Lila. Did you have braces and then lose your retainer like I did? I had this one tooth that was nagging at me every time I looked in the mirror, so I started Candid. Candid clear aligners are custom made for you and delivered right to your door for 65% less than braces, without a single visit to the orthodontist. In around 6 months, you'll have straight teeth and your dream smile. The best part? They're virtually invisible. Visit Candico.com and see if you're a candidate today.
We do a lot online, from shopping to social media, banking to surfing. To protect your devices, go to Spectrum.net and download Security Suite. It's free for internet customers and provides a layer of protection for your computers. And while you're on Spectrum.net, learn about internet safety, email scams, phishing, and more. Visit Spectrum.net to download Security Suite today.
That was great.
Yeah, I don't think I could eat another one.
Irresistible King's Hawaiian Rolls. Just may be the best part of your holiday meal.
I knew these would be a hit.
An update out of North Carolina. Police need your help. They have released new surveillance video of a man walking near where a 13-year-old girl was taken. Take a look now. Investigators are stressing, though, this man is not a suspect in Hanya's disappearance, but they believe he may have vital information in their search.
We released a video of a person we want to speak with who we hope may have information to help us find Hanya. We again come to you asking for your assistance today. The video we released shows a man wearing light-colored shoes, a light-colored shirt, and a hoodie. If you saw the individual on the morning of November 5 or know this man, please contact our tip line. If you are this individual, please call the tip line and speak with our investigators. Your assistance may help us in locating Hanya.
Hanya was kidnapped steps from her front door before school on Monday morning. Witnesses say a man wearing a bandana over his face shoved that girl into a stolen SUV. The SUV was found yesterday. Still no sign, though, of the missing 13-year-old. Want to bring in former police detective Steve Cardian. Steve, it certainly is helpful to see this person that police want to talk to. Do you think they believe he has a connection to the crime?
Yes, I do. Likely, he does have a connection to the crime, and this appears certainly by the evidence that was left behind by where the car was deposited, that this is more of a local case. This isn't necessarily a stranger had done.
And what makes you think that? Because the car was found in the vicinity of where she was taken? That they weren't heading out of town?
It was found 6 miles away. He left law enforcement plenty of evidence to work with by not having the car torched or damaged, or not, getting rid of it somewhere else. So I think they're going to find a trove of evidence in that car, whether it be DNA, hair and fiber, fingerprints, or something that would lead back to this individual, especially if it's in the database.
Okay, gotcha. Even if he had gloves on, let's say, we know he was covered head to toe, wearing a yellow bandana and covered wearing a black outfit. Even if he had gloves, some sort of DNA may have gotten into that car where they can find it and link it to him.
It could be a bead of sweat, it could be hair follicles, it could be it could be saliva, it could be almost anything that touched DNA that he left behind that investigators will be able to use to potentially identify him.
There is always hope, but in your experience, Steve, as the days go on, is it looking likely that they're going to find Hanya?
Well, we think it's critical hours after, even more critical 24 hours, than 48 and 72. Childhood abductions are very rare. The Nismark study, too, indicates that there's less than 0.5% that are actually polyclast disc lungs for typical stereotypical abductions. But then again, we see J.C. Dumart, we see Elizabeth Smart, we see the Cleveland abduction where 5 girls were found alive. So there's always hope.
It is possible.
We never give up hope.
Yeah, we did see that with Elizabeth Smart. I've spoken to her dad in the past, and he said he kept holding on to hope that she would be found alive, and she was, so that is a good thing. Steve, thank you so much for this insight, and hopefully this person will tie them to finding that girl. We do want to take you to California. Firefighters there are fighting 3 major wildfires. They are massive, and they have turned deadly this hour. This is video that our team shot in Northern California where 70,000 acres have been burned. Officials now working on an exact death toll. More than 150,000 people forced to evacuate to get out fast. And Chicago police now offering a $150,000 reward for information about the person in this video. They say he is a suspect in 2 linked murders. A 24-year-old was shot and killed on October 1st, just 36 hours after a 73-year-old was killed. Police say the same gun was used in both murders. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, some good news, already working from home. That's according to her nephew. She was released from the hospital today, early this morning. She fell and broke 3 ribs on Wednesday and was admitted to the hospital on Thursday for pain. Good to hear. And 2 daycare workers seen in a toddler fight club video, Today Daily and Michaela Guilford, have been charged with endangering the welfare of a child. You may have seen this video. Chris Hayes with affiliate KTVI is on the story with newly released police video now.
December 7th, 2016, 11:30 at night, St. Louis police brought in Tanae Daly in handcuffs. She's the woman you could see jumping up and down during the fights. She was subdued in her police interview.
He was crying, and we were trying to comfort him, and we was trying to cheer him on.
She said she never thought it was wrong until it was all over.
It was all fun and games, and I'm sorry, for them, to think that I'm hurting a kid. I want to hurt a kid. My kid was in there too.
A week later, December 15th, 1:30 in the afternoon, police interviewed Michaela Guilford. She was the one you could see saying something to a crying child and then getting preschoolers ready for another fight.
Oh, I probably should get a lawyer.
Guilford called relatives to say she was not going to talk to police, then said simply this.
Because there was nothing dangerous with the kids. It was all a safe stress relief. I feel like it would have been avoided if she was going to close the sector.
She's referring to the fact that daycare's heater was broken and teachers had to use this alternate room without their usual supplies and activities. Some of the kids appear to recognize the fight club was wrong, like this child who tries breaking up a fight, and a 10-year-old in the next room who texted his mom this: "The daycare is making my brother's class fight and he's crying."
I am so very thankful that my 10-year-old realized that it was wrong.
Nicole Merciel has been fighting for criminal charges since that day in December 2016. Today, she got action.
It makes me happy. That's exactly what we were hoping. That's the reason why we brought this to the media. We were wanting them to take a second look at this because I don't feel like there was any punishment.
Thanks to Chris Hayes for that report. He's from affiliate KTVI. I do want to bring in an attorney to talk more about this. Former head prosecutor, criminal defense attorney, and host of Law and Crime Network, Bob Bianchi. Bob, good to see you. You've seen the video. What do you think when you hear the women being interrogated, saying that they didn't know that it was wrong? Are you buying their stories?
Listen, as a person who had to make the calls on endangerment cases and child abuse cases, those statements would infuriate me. It's bad enough that they did the things that were so emotionally and physically harmful that even a 4-year-old, 5-year-old child's trying to stop it. 10-year-olds are after as a prosecutor go heavy on the case, want to go low on a case and make a point for deterrence. But those statements would be jail time.
Really? Well, Nicole Marcial, who of the boy that her young child is scared now. He was going to a new daycare and said, will we have to fight, Mom? And now she wants justice, and because of her voice being heard, it looks like she will get that. And that was my next question. How much time do you think these ladies, if any, will serve? Is it up to the prosecutor, as you said?
Yeah, Susan, that's a great question. And yes, it's up to the prosecutor. I mean, look, you want to have balance when you do these things. So you have two goals in mind as a prosecutor when I was making these calls. Deterrence and punishment, as well as reasonable punishment as well, mercy and compassion. But the mercy and compassion, as you indicated before, is depreciated by the statements that they gave. Look, I work in the legislature here, but they would be definitely doing county jail time, maybe even a little state prison time, because we can't, as prosecutors, allow people, when parents put them into the care and custody of adults, they give up their most precious resource we have as people, our children. And we need to make a point that it's bad enough if you're negligent and reckless. This was an intentional, purposeful act. I'd be looking for jail time.
Is that what you look for in a typical child abuse case where you see something severe? Do they get jail time as well?
Well, you know, listen, there's a lot of factors. Yeah, there's a lot of factors that come into play. I used to actually feel bad for parents who may have been a little negligent. Maybe they were at a party, they weren't watching a kid. God, it happens all the time. They go into the pool, the kid drowns. I used to think there was punishment enough there, unless there was some really serious malfeasance. But in a case where you are responsible for the care and custody of other people's children, and you purposefully, intentionally, not negligent, not recklessly, have them engaging in an emotionally brutal thing that they'll carry with them for the rest of their life. I remember being a kid that age. It was scary going to school. Who would have thought that instead of having a gentle hand and we love you and everything's going to be okay?
Instead of nap time, they're putting on Hulk gloves. It's a very different scene than what we saw. Bob, thank you.
That's
So, the holidays, they are coming. Less than 2 weeks from Thanksgiving, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have issued a warning about turkey. How this could affect your holiday plans.
With moderate to severe Crohn's disease, I was there. Just not always where it needed to be.
Sure, right?
I hope so. So I talked to my doctor about Humira. I learned Humira is for people who still have symptoms of Crohn's disease after trying other medications. And the majority of people on Humira saw significant symptom relief, and many achieved remission in as little as 4 weeks.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and me. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
1, 2, 1, 2, 4. Wherever you are this season, send some holiday cheer with a beautiful holiday card from Vistaprint. Now in more shapes, styles, and finishes than ever before. Plus, they're all 50% off. Just enter promo code HOLIDAY at Vistaprint.com.
You are a traveler. Sometimes a jet setter, other times a tourist, but always, always moving. Away makes luggage that can keep up with an ejectable battery, 4 spinner wheels, and a lifetime guarantee. This is luggage made for the way you actually travel. Try any suitcase for 100 days at awaytravel.com.
Welcome back on on this Friday, some news about American Airlines. They are planning to start letting passengers with nut allergies board flights first. The airline says it is giving them time to wipe down their seats and trays. Peanuts are not served on American, but the airline says they can't guarantee their planes are peanut-free. In March, a 9-year-old had a near-fatal allergic reaction on a flight on American. The new policy takes effect on December 12th. The FDA plans to ban gas stations and convenience stores from selling flavored e-cigarettes to keep them away from teenagers. Officials say the stores are not checking IDs well enough. The FDA also plans to ban.
All right, look, that's an hour. All I can do is an hour every day, y'all. All y'all gotta do is click subscribe, go to YouTube, type in 903 Tribe Life, and click subscribe. If it's something y'all want to watch, I mean, I think 7 Pounds come on tonight at like 8 o'clock. So if y'all want to watch, just let me know. But this is what I'm gonna do every day. It's gonna be something planned, the news, a movie, or something. I'm gonna show something every day on 903 Tribe Life channel. It's like nigga ain't got cable. Everybody ain't got cable. I'm at a hotel right now. Everybody ain't got this cable shit. You know what I'm saying? But I got a phone. I got YouTube. I got all kind of shit. So you know what I'm saying? I'm going into that channel money, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna try to get this channel money. I got a channel now, 903 Tribe Life. I'm streaming live TV, live events, fights, shit, shows, everything, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's that boy Nerd. Shouts out to that boy Young Real. 903 Tribe Life. Hey, like y'all can see, man, it's some shit going on in Texas, man. Like California. Y'all got some shit going on too. God damn, I hate that, bro. Y'all got like 70 acres down there burning. So yeah. But it's like,
First kiss. Here we go.
it's just life. Fuck it. I'ma just document what I can and I'ma post it on my channel. If you wanna share that shit, share that shit. If you want me to do something for you, post a certain type of video, do something, just let me know, man. I'm just out here, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this shit right here every day. Like I said, I'ma post a music video, a freestyle. I'ma let y'all watch a little something on TV. Whatever I watch, y'all gonna watch. Like I said, 7 Pounds, I think that shit come on tonight. So streaming live, 7 Pounds will be on tonight most likely. On my channel, 903 Tribe Life. And you gotta click subscribe, man. Don't just be typing my shit every day, you know what I'm saying? Click subscribe. So when I upload something, you'll get a notification. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. And it's that boy Nerd. Shouts out that boy Young Real. And yeah, y'all click subscribe and stay tuned in. Boom. How I stop the video.
If you have asthma and are taking asthma medicines,
Hello.
do not change or stop your asthma medicine without talking to your doctor. Help heal your skin from within.
Trying to figure out how to stop the video.
Specialist about Dupixent.
I'll meet you at the doorstep any day. Standoff between the French Davidians and the Criminal Nation for 51 days, because the Waco tragedy had been averted. How it really happened